Throughout all of human history, successful civilizations have built imposing and impressive buildings in order to flash their grandiosity. Turns out our modern society is no different, and we are always building bigger, better looking, and more expensive wonders as well. You are watching the top 10 most expensive buildings in the world, and in this video, I am going to show you what are the top 10 most expensive buildings in the world, how much did they cost, and also why they are so expensive. But before we begin, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. We here at Top 10 Luxury Edition are always uploading videos for you to take a sneak peek into the world of luxury. And if you like this type of content, also hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And without further ado, here are the top 10 most expensive buildings in the world. Number 10. One World Trade Center. Located in Manhattan, the heart of New York City, the One World Trade Center is the 10th most expensive building in the world. Now, as you may remember, the tragic 9/11 attacks were one of the most brutal and horrifying terrorist attacks in history, having claimed more than 3,000 lives, completely destroying the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center and leaving the whole world in shock. However, seeing the World Trade Center building site in complete debris always caused grief in the people of New York City, and so it was decided that another tower on the same site would be raised. And just 12 years after the horrible 9/11 attacks, the One World Trade Center, also known as Freedom Tower, was inaugurated. The Freedom Tower is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, with 104 floors, 1,776 feet of height, and easily standing out on New York's skyline. Now, the whole project did cost little more than $3.9 billion, but the fact that the World Trade Center resurged from the ashes of terrorism is priceless. Number 9. The Cosmopolitan. Located in the Strip, the avenue home to the most famous and luxurious casinos in the world, the Cosmopolitan is a 5-star resort hotel in Las Vegas. Now, the goal of this highly luxurious resort hotel is to provide you with everything you could ever want or need during your trip to Vegas. And as such, it has more amenities and facilities than you will have the time to enjoy, such as an enormous 110,000 square foot VIP casino, a theater for you to watch live presentations, a fitness center, and even a huge pool area with crazy parties going on at any time of the day. What's more, the Cosmopolitan is one of the most imposing hotels in Las Vegas, with its two 600 feet tall towers that easily outsize any nearby building and stand out on the majestic Las Vegas skyline. Well, no wonder it has already been awarded as the best hotel in the world several times. But of course, building such an impressive resort hotel wasn't cheap, having cost more than $4 billion to be constructed. Number 8. Australia's Parliament House. Located in the city of Canberra, Australia's capital, the Parliament House is the place where Australian public representatives gather to perform their duties and supposedly fight for the public good. Its construction started way back in 1981, and it was estimated that the whole project would cost only $250 million at the time. However, as is usual with any government construction project, massive costs and time overruns ensued. And so, the project ended up costing a whopping $1.1 billion at the time, which is more than $4.5 billion today when adjusted for inflation. To be fair, the building is absolutely spectacular, starting with its architecture, which is extremely imposing, elegant, and full of symbolism, and also its interiors, which are fully decorated with luxurious furnishings, white marble pillars, and masterpieces of some of the world's most notable artists. What's more, Australia's Parliament House has more than a dozen facilities, such as the Great Hall to hold important events, the Members' Hall where public representatives can network and have some downtime together, and of course, the House of Representatives chamber. Now, some critics say that spending billions of dollars on a government building was a huge waste of taxpayer money, but that's water under the bridge now. Number 7. Resorts World Sentosa. The Resorts World Sentosa is a resort complex located in Sentosa Island in Singapore. And just as the name suggests, this resort complex is of massive proportions. Having 7 uniquely themed hotels, a 160,000 square foot casino, an oceanarium for you to get to know the exotic marine life of the Singapore Strait, a water park, and even a Universal Studios theme park. And on top of that, the Resorts World Sentosa has one of the best dining experiences in town, and you can choose from more than a dozen high-end restaurants to have a luxurious dinner with your significant other. Well, as you can expect, raising such a massive resort complex from the ground up is far from cheap, and the whole project costs more than $5 billion in total. But if you think that's already expensive enough, think again, because Genting Singapore, the operator of the Resorts World Sentosa, has big and bold plans of expanding its already massive resort. and they will add yet another VIP casino complex to it at an estimated cost of $3.3 billion. Number 6. Apple Park. The Apple Park is a gigantic office building located in Cupertino, California, and owned by Apple, the tech giant that is one of the biggest companies in the world today. And it was envisioned way back in 2007 by none other than Steve Jobs. His goal was to create a corporate headquarters that looked like a futuristic nature refuge instead of a boring office building. Unfortunately, Steve Jobs didn't live to see its completion, but if he did, I am sure he would be very proud. After all, the whole building turned out just like he envisioned, with a futuristic one-of-a-kind architecture, a giant and imposing size, and thousands of custom-designed offices to spark the creativity of those who are inside. And let's not forget that Apple Park has all the facilities that Apple's employees could ever hope for, such as a giant auditorium where the most brilliant minds in the world can share their thoughts, a wellness center for creative people to have some downtime together, and also a state-of-the-art research and development facility. Now, the whole project did cost more than $5 billion for Apple, which, to be fair, is merely a drop in the bucket for this tech giant that routinely makes more than $200 billion in yearly revenue. Number 5. SoFi Stadium. Located in the outskirts of Los Angeles, the SoFi Stadium is the 5th most expensive building in the world. Now, the thing with the SoFi Stadium is that it is highly technological and extremely well developed, having used the latest technological, engineering, and design innovations to bring a completely immersive experience to all sports fans. For instance, there is a large 70,000 square feet 4K video board hanging from the ceiling, a translucent roof, and an advanced cooling system to make people feel the breeze of the Pacific Ocean, which is just 10 miles away from the stadium. What's more, the SoFi Stadium is extremely big, and it has a maximum capacity of 100,000 people, tens of thousands of numbered seats, and more than 250 luxury suites for high rollers and celebrities to watch the game at maximum comfort. Now, at the early stages of the project, it was estimated that only $2.6 billion would be spent. But as is usual with any big and complex project, there were a few cost overruns, and the whole building ended up costing more than $5 billion. Well, I know you may be thinking that dropping $5 billion on a stadium is a lot, but if you consider the fact that it'll be home to some of the biggest sports events in the world, such as the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup, the 2028 Summer Olympics, and the 2022 Super Bowl, you will be able to see why this gigantic investment was worth it. Number 4. Marina Bay Sands. Located in front of the Marina Bay in Singapore, the Marina Bay Sands is yet another luxurious resort hotel on our list, but this one easily outshines all of the others. For instance, its outside design and architecture are jaw-dropping, with 3 680-feet towers connected by a massive sky park on top of them. What's more, the resort is equipped with a VIP casino, a luxurious shopping mall, and a wellness center for you to relieve every ounce of stress from your body. And on the 680-feet-high sky park, there is a panoramic observation deck, a handful of luxury sky bars for you to have a few drinks while overlooking the sunset, and an infinity pool with breathtaking views of the Marina Bay. Now, despite construction costs having been estimated at only $3.2 billion at its initial stages, the project for the Marina Bay Sands had a few cost overruns and ended up costing more than $6.9 billion. But I'd say that $6.9 billion is chump change to Las Vegas Sands, the operator of the resort. After all, only the casino generates more than $1 billion in yearly gross revenue. Number 3. Abraam Bait. Located in Mecca, the holiest city of the Islamic region, the Abraam Bait is the 3rd most expensive building in the world. Well, in case you don't know, the Quran says that all Muslims must visit Mecca to do a pilgrimage at least once in their lifetimes. And because of that, the Saudi Arabian government decided to build a gigantic hotel complex to cater to the millions of pilgrims, worshippers, and tourists that come here each and every year. For instance, the Abraam Bait has 7 skyscraper hotels, more than 11,000 rooms, and can accommodate up to 100,000 people. And let's not forget about the impressive and imposing architecture of the entire Abraam Bait complex. For instance, the clock tower, the tallest and most impressive tower of the complex, has golden domes on all of its corners, huge Arabic scripts praising the name of God, and 4 giant illuminated clocks that can be seen from miles of distance, thus making the entire Abraam Bait stand out on Mecca's skyline and making this holy city even more symbolic and beautiful. As you can expect, a lot of work and resources went into the building of this impressive hotel complex, and because of that, its price tag is a whopping $15 billion. But since the hotel is within walking distance of the most holy sites in Mecca, I am sure that this massive investment was worth it. Number 2. International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. Besides being the second most expensive building in the world, the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, or ITER for short, is also one of the most innovative and complex megaprojects in the world. You see, its goal is to discover if nuclear fusion energy can be used as a clean and reliable energy source. The only problem is that playing with fusion energy is no easy task, and it requires lots of technological know-how, specialized equipment and machinery, and resources. So much so that no single country has the ability or the technology to do this on their own. And that's why 35 countries, including China, Russia, and the USA, have decided to cooperate and build a fusion power plant with the potential to push the boundaries of science and disrupt the trillion-dollar energy industry. Now, the ITER is located in Saint-Paul-les-Durance in France, and it is a massive 450-acre site with 39 facilities, millions of components, and a giant nuclear reactor. And at the heart of the entire project is a gigantic 260-feet edifice with reinforced concrete walls and structures. Now, the ITER is far from being finished, and it is estimated that $25 billion will be spent in total. That is, if there are no cost and time overruns, which is not unlikely for such a big and complex project. Number 1. Masjid AlHaram. And the most expensive building in the world is the Masjid AlHaram. This is yet another building located in Mecca, the holiest city of the Islamic region. But this one is even more monumental, symbolic, and expensive. After all, it encircles the Kaaba, the most important wonder of the Islamic religion, thus making it one of the most important mosques in the world. Needless to say, this mosque has gigantic proportions in order to represent its grandiosity. Covering more than 3,800,000 square feet of area, with multiple praying facilities and a maximum capacity of 4 million worshippers. And on top of that, its design and architecture are magnificent, with dozens upon dozens of minarets, golden domes, and white marble columns. Now, the Masjid AlHaram cost a whopping $101 billion to be constructed, but since this is one of the most important holy sites of the Islamic religion, I am sure Saudi oil sheiks didn't even think twice about spending so much money on it. And in fact, people are already talking about expanding the Masjid AlHaram to increase its capacity and make it even more grandiose. So chances are it will continue to be the most expensive building in the world for a long time to come. Alright, and those were the top 10 most expensive buildings in the world. As you can see, Mecca is home to some of the most expensive buildings in the world. Well, I wonder if Saudi oil sheiks have so much money that they don't know where else to spend it. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these expensive buildings impressed you the most? Let me know in the comment section down below. And that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and until next time.